Okay, a little bit of review of rigid transformations. Congruence and similarity are congruent similar figures are formed by performing transformations on a particular shape. To be congruent, we follow rigid transformations, and there are three of them. Translation, slide it left, right, up, down. Reflection, mirror image it across a line. And rotation, rotate it about a point. Rigid transformations preserve angles and distance. Who preserves angle but not distance? That would be similarity, and that's a dilation. It's a non-rigid transformation. So we can take a look at all three of them here. Translation on the top left, slides it. Rotation, turns it about a point. Reflection, mirror image across a line. And dilation either shrinks it or enlarges the object from one focal point. So our first piece that we're going to look at is a translation, and it's a rigid transformation of the plane that moves every point of a preimage a constant distance in a specified direction. So here we've got a rectangle and we've got the points labeled. It's going to preserve distance. Lengths of segments will remain the same. The angle measures will remain the same. Parallelism, parallel lines remain the same. Collinearity, points remain on the same lines, and orientation, lettering order remains the same. Mapping notation from one point to the next, from the preimage to the image, shows you adding something to x and adding something to y, and that could be add or subtract to either one. So in this case, ours move all of the x's right 9 units and all of the y's up 4 units. So that means A prime is going to be 11, 9. B prime is going to be 15, 9. C is going to be 15, 6. And D is going to be 11, 6. Reflection gives a mirror image. Okay, reflection is a rigid transformation or isometry that maps every point P in the plane to a point P prime across the line of reflection M, such that we got two cases. Either it maps to itself because the point P is on the line, or it maps it such that the line connecting P to P prime is going to be the line M is going to be the perpendicular bisector of that segment connecting P to P prime. And again, it preserves distance, angle measures, parallelism, and collinearity. The orientation, though, is not preserved. The orientation of the lettering is not preserved. It's usually reversed clockwise to counterclockwise or vice versa. Common reflections that we have, we can reflect across the x-axis, and that means the y value would just change. Reflect across the y-axis, the x value would change its sign. Reflect across the line y equals x, the x's and y's change spots. Or reflect across the y equals negative x line, the x's and y's switch spots, and then they also change sign. Let's take a look at examples of those. Those top three are the main ones that we worry about or work with. So here we've got a point at 2, 1, and reflecting across the x-axis, we're going to get a negative y value, so instead of positive 1, it's going to be negative 1, just like this. For reflecting across the y-axis, that means the x value is going to change, and there you can see it in green. Reflect across the line y equals x, we flip x and y, so you see the point 2, 1, and its image 1, 2. And then we can also reflect across the line y equals negative x, and here you see the x's and y's change spots, and they also change signs to negative 1, negative 2. And then here's an image of all of them together. And rotation preserves distance, angle measure, parallelism, collinearity, and orientation. Some common graph rotations that we have centered at the origin, and we assume positive angle of rotation, so it's going to be counterclockwise. And let's just take the image that we have at the top, rotation around the origin, 90 degrees. And so if we've got the points A is at 6, 6.5, B is at 3, 3, C is at 6, 4, That means A prime is going to be negative 6.5 and 6. And B prime is going to be negative 3, 3. And C is going to be negative 4, 6. And that actually matches with what the points you can see up there. And that's just a quick review of rigid transformations.